What's up, crypto media friends? Welcome back to another overtime show here in Los Angeles, here at the studio. We are trying to wrap up our day here and wanted to check in. This weekend was kind of amazing. My first in real life NFT hangout. I haven't done one of these. Obviously, once COVID hit, it was like kind of honestly my entree into this space. But certainly as it exploded this year, I've just been kind of trying to find the projects that had this type of component to it, and was hoping, then thank you Delta, kind of smush those, but those hopes. But I think protocols and vaccination rates are pretty gosh darn good lately, and so I decided to take a gamble in a sense, and there it is right there with the Wicked Cranium meetup, and in real life they called it the Bone Shake. And man, it feels like it felt so good, honestly, to go into a place where people spoke the same language in a sense, and we all were fans of not just Craniums, but a lot of other projects, especially the other projects that were common, I think, in sort of mainstream understanding of NFTs, and a lot of people, because there's just so many rabbit holes, bring into the conversation like really sort of like outside the norm, not outside the norm, but outside of sort of the main view, I think, of NFT land is sort of beset by a lot of influencers. And so when you see another project that has been doing well and done so organically, you take notice. You're like, oh, what is that in your wallet? And that was great. Like everyone's just like showing off their wallets and their phones, and so Warriors of Aradina, check it out. That floor has been rising a bit, and I say a bit, it's like parabolic. And here we're going to talk about Sad Girls Bar, which I tell you, I looked at and I reviewed, and I was just like, I went on the Insta of the artist, and so it was interesting because like on the website you can see, I forget how, but it's probably just Rarity Tools view or something like that, where I was just like, oh, or somebody recommended it, and I checked it out, and I just went straight to the Insta. And Instagrams are full of different things. They're sometimes a bit personal, and sometimes they have some of the art. And as it stood, when I looked at it, I was like, it's okay. And then I went to the website, and like, there's a place in this damn city, a shelter for dark souls. You can find a companion here, have something to drink. Late night, you walk down the street, it's cold and raining. Like I like setting the ambiance, and she seemed like a very talented artist out of Russia, but I just couldn't really get into it from what I saw. And it's funny because a lot of projects, I always want to compare it to the sevens, where the few that I saw looked so dope, and I was like, wow, the collection is going to be amazing. And when I saw the whole collection, I was just like, not so amazing. I was nonplussed in a sense. And so, but here was the absolute reverse. I saw some of these, and like you can see here in the middle, I was just like, oh, okay. And then like it's kind of the same when I was looking at the Insta, and I was like, okay, roadmap. I honestly, I blow through these roadmaps these days. There are just so many empty promises that are full of quasi charities and in-person things, and very personal sort of there you go, affectations to the proposal, and the rarities were okay, and so and so her name is Glam, and she's an artist out of Russia. And so Glam Beckett, I go to this, and I was like, I don't know, there was something about, I don't know what it was about the Insta, but it was like further on down, it was something here when I was looking at it, and I was like, oh, interesting. And just like a castle on fire, and I was like, wow, she's just like a super dope chick. And so but when I went onto the website, and her actual website, I started to really look at the catalog of work here, and I'm like, I was kind of blown away. I was like, this is phenomenal work. And so I haven't even like thrown on the light there. And so I was like really getting excited about the work. And so I can see she's kind of like paralleling like her own look with that statue. I thought was cool. But in the early Insta like here is just like I couldn't quite get an understanding. But the website gave a full presentation of the art and this series of art, and I thought the series, especially the couple series, was quite amazing, and really evocative and personal, and so I feel very, very differently about the project after examining that, and also I'm so tired, guys. Also seeing the collection. The collection came together really fantastically. And when you line them up and you see them all on OpenSea, you see the attitude, you see the variations in attitude. So it's much less one note than I thought. I was just like, rocker chick, but like there's something about like each individualized rocker chick that whether that's a piercing wherever, whether that's, I think for me, and I allude to it a bit later, she's doing some great stuff with the expressions on each. And so even though you might have one that seems similar, the expression is very different. And that does wonders for me in terms of collectability and because it's beyond just the wear, what they're wearing. So here's a good example. So you have two with like the same hair. And so, ostensibly in other collections, they look quite similar, but you can see the gaze is different. You can see the eyebrows are different. You can see like the lips are different. And so, it's the same core, but she's giving different expressions to these, and that adds for me a different energy. And so when looking for things, it's just like, okay, let's start where I do, which is in a rarity that I think is pretty cool, and so yeah, so it was 0.0 ETH last 24 hours ago. Now it's doubled, and it was about 24 hours ago. So it's doubled, and in one night, one day, and I just keep looking these over, and these are like super, super dope. I just love the styling, the attitude, the expressionism that these have, and I think like yuck you. These are just awesome. Like in terms of added, the baklava I think are very underrated. I don't know how collectible they're going to be, but they're quite rare, and they have I think some great intrinsic value to that artist. Because the baklava is very representative of, Russian, their place in Pussy Riot's Russian sort of feminist rage in a sense, and so that's where this artist is from. This thing is like I do. Was it 20? Yeah, this was 24 hours ago. That thing is now parabolic. It's going like straight up. I've never seen quite a floor like this. The floor was very, very thick. The floor is very, very thick. So if you go to it now, that 0.1516 is really thick. There's a lot of 0.15s, 0.16s, but the sales are insane. It's just like every other second, just like every minute, just chewing up that floor. I've never really seen a floor gobbled up like this. And hey, here's one of the ones that I picked up that got sniped in my sleep. I really dug her the red. I think the red is just gonna have a huge collectability beyond this paramount in this collection, because it just stands out so much in a black and white collection. And I just I was like, I'll put it safely 2 or 3 high up in the floor, and just keep an eye on the market. And like it just got bought up right away. It had the Devil's Heart shirt mixed with the biker jacket, So you kind of have like a double super rarity there. That's going to give it a quite high rarity score, I imagine. But it's just the impact that I was looking for, and the expression I thought was like really, again, super cool. And so, like, these are like chicks I want to hang out with. They represent that type that I love hanging out with. And so, and the second one I got was the white crown. Because again, like, to hang my hat on a rarity, that is, this one is super rare. There's only 40 of these, and I was actually surprised, again, by how close to the floor relatively it was. And so, so I just sort of woke up and like, oh, that was sniped. Okay, maybe I should hold on to this one. And this one grew on me, so I don't know where I'm going to take it yet. Whether I took it off the market, because that's the nice thing is, like, I think a lot of people like playing the mint game. For me, I always end up with ones that I probably don't love, and going this sort of secondary market route, where if we're early enough, even just past the reveal, there's still some time to sort of get into a collection quickly, and that's what I ended up doing last night, is finding out like, oh, this collection has some sort of lure to me, but also after I bought mine, I noticed I was just like, the traffic was so insane that I noticed that they were being highlighted on OpenSea on the front page as a trending one, and so certainly that had a lot of push into the traffic of it all, but the floor is just being chewed up at a pace that, like, is pretty incredible. And so maybe worth a look, but I really dug the art here. The project ended up landing really well, as opposed to some other ones that I go over, like, you sort of look at it and you're like, oh, this could, and then get into the mint. That's the thing, is like, the frustrating part is then you get into the mint, and then you get ones you probably you don't love, and then you're struggling to try and like sell at the floor so that you can make up. Here I just bought two that I thought were dope, and I'd be happy with either one. I priced them, I got them both, pretty close to the floor. I priced them, at a range that I thought, would sell and then cover the other. And so, here I am now with a nice example of the collection, and yet, still not out of pocket in a sense. And so everything up here, upside is just all gravy. Just one of those techniques that you'll find in this space. A lot of people like to start in that mint side. I get a little frustrated, honestly, as I'm doing that more and more, of trying to get in on the mint, that whole rigmarole, the time that it takes, and then ending up with something that I know to some degree is a surprise and is cool, but as we found out with Galaxy eggs, I don't think I could have bought that Galaxy egg. I probably still can't. That I got. But I was able to get in on that mint and sort of decide, like, well, it wasn't the right one for me. Like, there was others I showed you guys, others in the collection, like, I would hold that, I would hold this one, but but that's what funded my ability to get into Set Girls Bar. And so check these out, like, subscribe, please, bell notification. I don't know if I'm at 100 yet. I think I might be at 100 subscribers, so thank you. But I was really enthusiastic about seeing a lot of people in real life, with the Wicked Craniums bone shake, and so I'm looking forward to those down the line of kind of a pan NFT hangout, because I think you guys are gonna enjoy it too. It's like, I don't know if you guys ever find that person on the street, or like through a friend or something. You start talking NFTs, or you start talking metaverse, and you're like, holy cow, you feel like you found somebody you can really talk to. Imagine walking into a room full of those. Like I said, it gives me that Comic-Con type of vibe, where you feel a bit more free to talk about things, and it's a fun scenario. And so like, subscribe, hitting the comments below what in real life things you've been to or that you've enjoyed, or ones that are coming up that we should all look into joining you at. All right, guys, thanks.